Hey, what's up, all my ducklings out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I am back with DuckTales, the 2017 reboot. This time it's Season three's Episode 17, titled The Fight for Castle McDuck. As we pick up in this episode, we actually open up with the fog around Castle McDuck that's only supposed to dissipate every 5 years, keeping everything hidden. It's dissipated only 1 year later, oddly enough, which is funny because it reveals that moment in the season one where we first visited Scrooge's ancestral home and all that good stuff. It turns out it's been a year. Pretty cool. Very nice. Nice bit of continuity. And he questions, why are the fogs gone? Usually it's supposed to be protecting the castle. Naturally, Scrooge thinks his dad did something to break the castle, whereas his dad thinks he bought him a cheap castle, and Scrooge's mom is just happy that they get this nice little family reunion. But Huey sees this as an opportunity to find the ancient relic of the McDuck family, the blessed bagpipes of Clan McDuck, which, is based off of what Scrooge always says, bless me bagpipes. I wonder if there's a cursed kilt as well. Brings up a lot of questions, but Louis feels like this should be an easy get, as they've already explored Castle McDuck. They feel that any traps they could have tripped should have already been tripped by now. But Huey thinks that it won't be that simple. Though we do find that the Phantom Blot has a machine hooked up to the top of the house, which is siphoning away the magic and all that good stuff. We also come to find out that Scrooge's younger sister Matilda was actually the first person that Scrooge's dad called when all of this went down. Matilda, as we find out, is actually on always going on various different business ventures and all that, with her latest one being one that has brought her home for the most part. Although while Webby is excited to be meeting a member of the McDuck family that she hasn't met before, we find that Matilda is here because of her latest business venture, which is an emu farm, because big eggs and all that good stuff. It's not sound at all, which really does explain why she's not the rich McDuck. And though while Scrooge does try to invest in Matilda's business just as a show of good faith, Matilda brushes it away, saying, well, I don't need handouts from family as some ducks I know, referencing Scrooge's first dime and the story behind it, that ultimately it wasn't just because of his hard work, it was because Scrooge's dad paid someone to give him the dime. And Scrooge is just like, does everyone know that story but me? So, bad blood here and there. Meanwhile, Louis ends up just simply asking their great grandma about the situation with the blessed bagpipe, being like, "Hey, grandma, do you know where this magical bagpipe could be?" And she's just like, "Oh, yes, sure, dearie, I'll show you." So easy there. We also see that the Phantom Blot is with the one member of Fowl who constantly seems to be teaming up with him, and that is none other than Pepper. Though he tends to want to work alone, Pepper is all in on this mission. We all end up with everyone else heading down to where all the great legendary members of Clan McDuck are immortalized in these great big statues, with one pedestal still left open for a future legendary member of Clan McDuck. It's a place for only those of the most note and worthiness. Although a fight breaks out, well, a bit of a argument about who should be there, Matilda or Scrooge. With Scrooge saying he'd be there because of his wealth and all that, but Matilda says that ultimately it's just your money that's popular and not you, actually. Something worth noting about Matilda is she's played by Michelle Gomez, who played Missy in Doctor Who, so who was like this female incarnation of the Master, who is like this enemy of Doctor Who. And it's funny because David Tennant plays Scrooge McDuck, who is was Doctor Who himself, the titular Doctor. So it's just like, of course they would be bickering. It's a nice little bit of synergy, if nothing else. But ultimately, Webby just can't really take this. While Dewey's just like, it's sibling squabbling. Every sibling does this. Webby is not about this. She can't handle the thought of Clan McDuck coming apart at the seams. Meanwhile, Louis isn't too keen on the fact that there's a whole pile of bagpipes locked away in this closet. Meanwhile, Webby tries her best to get Scrooge to relive his good memories of his sister, of when they were younger and they would play and have fun. But Scrooge sees something that angers him, and that's the revelation that his old pet Whiskers, which was just a clump of hair, was actually stolen by Matilda and painted all up. But they get into this massive argument, and even the parents join in, and it's calamity. Meanwhile, the Phantom Blot, seeing all the magic running through Castle McDuck, is sickened and just wants to drain it all. But Pepper convinces him that if they just follow the runes and don't draw too much attention to themselves from the outset, they'll be able to find the blessed bagpipe. Meanwhile, Clan McDuck has become divided, as Pa McDuck is on Matilda's side, of course, and Ma McDuck is on Scrooge's side. So Webby tries to convince Dewey to help her concoct a plan to get them all on the same side. Barging in and telling them that Dewey is in trouble with his dramatic death scene. He's been injured. Oh no, poor Dewey. But Scrooge just uses this as an excuse to go after Matilda. It's just like, because of you, my favorite nephew has been injured. And as Louie and Huey arrive, still searching for the blessed bagpipe, Dewey can't help but scream out, "I'm Scrooge's favorite," which gets them all up in a guff, because it's just like, well, the boy was faking it. And Louie and Huey are just like, so he's getting your inheritance, is he? But Scrooge is just like, I just said that to make Matilda feel bad, which is just like, yo, dude, too far. But the boys get into a scuffle, and Pepper uses this opportunity to realize that the blessed bagpipe is held by I guess the person who created it, which is Danny McDuck, and is held within her statue's bagpipe. So while Webby tries her best to calm things down between the McDuck family, saying that they're not acting like McDucks, Scrooge takes this moment to say, well, I don't want to be a McDuck. I'll be my own family from here on out. Meanwhile, Pepper breaks into Danny's statue and finds the blessed bagpipe, but she falls and squeezes it, which shoots out all this power that energizes all these statues. So while Clan McDuck, immediately realizes, oh, it's the Phantom Blot and a member of Fowl, then the statues come to life. But while the Phantom Blot and Pepper try to use this opportunity to escape, Webby tries to rally the statues as well as the flesh and blood members of Castle McDuck to get their enemies, only for Danny to go after Murdoch McDuck, because I guess they were siblings or something, and Danny would always be playing her bagpipe, and it would always throw off Ang, Ang, um, Murdoch's shots and all that. And I guess it's just a really big family thing. So they start to squabble and all that, which much to the ire of Webby. But in comes Matilda's emu, who chases around Pepper and the Phantom Blot, and Dirty Dingus McDuck, the father of Scrooge's father Fergus, starts to complain. It's just like, oh, so you used my money to build this house, did you? And Fergus is just like, no, my son bought me this. And then Dirty Dingus is just like, oh, so you're mooching off your son? How dare you? And it's just all out pandemonium. And once they get to a safe spot, the Phantom Blot tells Pepper, she's like, see this? This is why I work alone. You dropped the ball, kid. But then Pepper reveals that, well, she was the only person who could go with the Phantom Blot. Every other member of the Eggheads felt he was either too intense or just too creepy to be around. And so, while more destruction happens and the boys get the opportunity to go after the bagpipe, the Phantom Blot gives up that opportunity to save Pepper, because ultimately he realizes that she was the only one who actually didn't see him as some kind of weirdo. So the Phantom Plot manages to trap the boys. Pepper grabs the bagpipe, only for the emu to grab the bagpipe. Webby is distraught and it's just thinking that she completely destroyed, Clan McDuck with all the fighting of the past, the present, and the future of Clan McDuck. But as Scrooge and Matilda almost get flattened, they realize, Webby just kind of monologuing to herself about everything that's going on. Realizing that ultimately she just wanted to be a part of one of the greatest families she thought that was out there, which makes them realize they haven't really been acting like a great family. And as Webby almost gets crushed by a column, Scrooge and Matilda go in to save her, only for it to be none other than Agnes McDuck, I think is her name, to save them. So they take the moment to tell Webby that ultimately it's not about a family fighting that matters, it's how they come together in the end. It's not the name that matters, it's the people behind it and what you do that matters. So they take that moment to just come together. They free Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They manage to corner the Phantom Blot and call upon the ancient McDucks of old, saying they're raiding our family and fighting them down, and they're just like, nobody fights McDucks except McDucks. And so they manage to corner the Blot and Pepper. Pepper unleashes the power of the blessed bagpipe, turning the previous members of Clan McDuck back to stone. Well, unliving stone. But Webby manages to get the blessed bagpipe away from Pepper in a very cute moment where she's just like, hey, I'm Pepper. Hey, I'm Webby. And they manage to get the blessed bagpipe away from them, cornering them once again. So the Blot unleashes the power of his gauntlet to blind all of them so that they can escape. Although the Phantom Blot has fully accepted Pepper as his partner. Meanwhile, Huey tells Louie that ultimately he wanted to go on this quest, not the easy way, because he felt that ultimately doing things the easy way leads to hard situations later down the line. Example all around them. Although Webby is distraught over all the destruction that has happened within Castle McDuck, ultimately Scrooge says that it's not the relics and all that matter, it's the family. And the family coming together is the real part of being a great family. Yes, we fight, but we always come together in the end. And so, like a family, they repair the ruins of their castle. I love any moment we get to see the family members that Scrooge and the Duck family have, because it's always a fun time. There's such grand personalities that never really get tapped into. And to see more of that, mwah, chef kiss, always a good time. And this was the first animated appearance of Matilda, Scrooge's younger sister. We've kind of seen his other sister, Hortense, I think it is, the mother to Donald and Della. But we've never actually had a speaking role for her. So I'm hoping that somewhere down the line, before this series ends, we do get to see Scrooge's other sister. But I loved this. Not to mention the fact that they're all, Scrooge, his sister, his mother, and his father, they're all voiced by Scottish voice actors, all Scottish. So, very authentic, very good time. And just having Scrooge's personality clash with people he can't really get one up over because it's just like they don't care that he's the richest duck in the world. It's just a fun time. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about, Scrooge's sister and all that? Did you find the relationship fun and fascinating? Do you like seeing the Duck family and all their quirks and issues and all that? Or do you feel like this episode was easily skipped? Tell me that and more in the comment section below. And if you like this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike. And subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another DuckTales episode review. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye bye.